How to make a girl fall in love with you. Today, we're showing you the 11 ways on how to make a girl fall in love with you fast. If you've been with us for a while, you know how to get a girl to like you. You know every trick to get a girl to let you talk to her, and how to get her attention. But today we're not talking about how to get a girl to like you, we're showing you how to kick things up a notch and get her to love you. We know the dating world gets more complicated with each passing day, the political climate's crazy. The social climate's bonkers. What worked for our fathers and grandfathers is outdated. We know it's rough out there and confusing at times. That's why we've written these guidelines for finding the love you've always dreamed of. Here we'll let you in on some secrets for how to make a girl fall in love with you and of course, how to get a girlfriend. We're not going to lie, how to make a girl fall in love with you is not something you can approach from a limited, purely intellectual mindset. If you're really following these steps to the fullest extent imaginable, you'll almost forget that you were ever trying to make a girl fall in love with you because you're completely absorbed in getting to know yourself and your own abilities. And no, we don't mean patting your ego. We don't mean that you become Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, Red, an arrogant, self-absorbed prick. We mean that you establish a foundation of genuine self-love and self-respect. That you know yourself, honor yourself, and become aware of yourself in the purest, truest sense of the word. When you have mastered this, you will magnetize her right to you. Here are 11 ways to how make a girl fall in love with you. 1. Understand her. That means desiring to understand her and listening deeply to her, not using her verbalization as segues into ways you can talk about yourself. That might mean refraining from turning everything into a debate and seeing intellectual logic as the only way. There's something out there called feminine intuition, it flies in the face of the logic most of us have been brought up on. Make room for both in what you value. It also means acknowledging both sides of every issue. Men and women react and respond in opposing ways to a lot of things. That's what makes finding our yin and yang match so tantalizing. Understanding women takes research. It means you can't walk through your life half asleep. It takes positively relating to women from all walks of your life, your female relatives, colleagues, friends, and acquaintances. 2. Know what women want in a man. Let's get a few things straight. A girl that only wants a man that treats her roughly and poorly is a woman who hasn't learned to love herself, know her value, or heal her wounds. Likewise, a guy who uses bullying and force in the name of masculinity is just as lost. We've all got work to do on ourselves and we attract a reflection of what we are. What women want in a man is a human being who stands in his courage to defend what is right and true. A man who will take responsibility for his thoughts, feelings, and actions. Women want a guy who will put the work into communicating with respect and humility. She wants a man who is eager to grow, willing to forgive, and humble enough to serve. She wants a man who knows her value and his own, who sees the bigger picture and the intricate details. 3. Get busy. Look guys, before you even think of how to make a girl fall in love with you, you have to love yourself first, and one of the most effective ways of doing that is by becoming the man you've always wanted to be. And how do you do that? Keep busy. Learn about and try as many things as possible because, by trying new things, and not being afraid to fail at most of them, you will discover your limits, strengths, and weaknesses, and what you actually enjoy spending your time on. In other words, girls like seeing guys who know how to get stuff done. 4. Know thyself. The great Greek philosopher, Socrates once taught that, the unexamined life is not worth living, and he was absolutely right. A girl isn't going to fall in love with a guy who has no direction and doesn't know who he is. That's not a man, that's a child. Girls want a man who's confident, sure of himself, and won't overwhelm her with his insecurities. And to really be that man, you've got to do what other guys don't, constantly question your own thoughts and actions. Seek to understand why you are the way you are, don't worry about others, and always be the best version of yourself you can be. 5. Be gentle man. There's a long-standing myth that girls only date jerks. But it's simply not true. Because as time goes on, most girls simply want a supportive and easygoing teammate to navigate the field of life. Because life is like playing football. You dodge a bunch of hazards while trying to reach your goal, and sometimes you get knocked down. So it's nice to have a teammate to pick you back up. And being that helpful and reliable person, but not forcing it, is the gentleman thing to do. 6. Know how to talk to girls. Here's one thing to remember about how to talk to girls. Sense of humor is important, but so is the way you use it. Check for the genuineness of her laughter. Is she really feeling your vibes, or is she cringing inwardly and trying to be polite? As silly and obvious as it sounds, it's a real thing to be mindful of. A lot of us use humor as a shield when we are nervous. We use it as a means of false bravado. If your attempts at making her laugh don't hit home immediately, that's alright. If you make the effort to connect in other ways simultaneously that indicate you respect her, she won't notice. The great thing about understanding how to talk to a girl you like is that we all go through our lives, sometimes grinding away into mundanity, longing to be truly seen down to the depths of our souls. For someone to see past all of the barriers we put up and understand who we truly are and why we are special. When you decide to connect to a girl you like, you are seizing a chance to give someone this kind of gift. It could be the boost they need after a hard week. The act of claiming the truth of your feelings of attraction alone, at the risk of your ego, is a small act of service to the world. Meaningful compliments for girls go a lot further than telling her she's smart and beautiful. Become fluent at the language of reading people and reflect back to them how their vibes positively affect you in your compliments. Picture this, you and a girl are discussing which land mammal is the coolest when she has the audacity to say African elephants. You know for a fact that Capuchin monkeys are cooler, but do you tell her that? No. For some reason, you go entirely against your beliefs, and agree with her, even though you prefer Capuchin monkeys to elephants. Look guys, if you don't like confrontation, you need to work on that. Because constantly filtering your words to avoid even the most pointless disagreements, is an extremely insecure thing to do. And a girl will see right through it. Girls want a guy who isn't afraid to speak his mind. So say what comes into yours. And do it confidently and respectfully. 7. Make her laugh. If there's one thing every girl wants to have when she's with a guy, it's a good time. After all, failed dates are no fun. So what's the number one thing you can do to make sure a girl is having fun when you're together? Be a fun guy. And yes, we're aware that this entire section is just one really dumb joke, but that's the point. Girls love a guy who makes them laugh. And it's not just because every moment she spends with him is a fun surprise. Laughter releases the feel-good chemical, dopamine into our brains, so you're literally hacking her brain when you make a girl laugh. So tell jokes, both good and bad, while staying in the zone of tasteful, hone your comedic timing, and just be the fun-loving guy that every girl wants to be with. How to make a girl laugh goes hand in hand with how to make a girl fall in love with you. 8. Take a break. Wait, we just had one of those, didn't we? Yes, because we wanted to remind you the best is yet to come. And that's exactly what you should do with a girl. Back off from time to time, especially in the early stages. Because you've been there, you get so excited about this new girl you're talking to that you text her too much or rush things, and you screw it up. So instead of falling head over heels for her, make her fall in love with you. How? Be unavailable and have hobbies, but always find time for her, and don't consistently be the first to text, or text her too much. By keeping a reasonable distance, you'll be able to keep your emotions in check, and it'll only make her want to see you again. 9. Avoid the fun sponge. Have you ever been around someone who is constantly a Debbie Downer? Someone who always has something negative to say, no matter the situation. People like that suck the fun out of everything. They're fun sponges, and girls hate fun sponges. Remember, girls want a fun guy. And by being a negative Nancy all the time, you're only making everyone else more miserable. So look on the bright side of life and try to find the good in every situation, especially when things don't work out. Because there are absolutely zero girls who want a guy who's constantly bringing down the vibe. Yup, don't just brush this advice off as empty words. We're going to say it again, find the good in every situation, and show her the beauty of what you find. Think about what that really means. How is one door closing actually another door opening? How is getting rejected or losing something you wanted very much chance to observe your reactions, decide your responses, and learn about what your triggers are and who you can become through your awareness of them? Being positive isn't something you can put down after a few hours of practicing it. It's not just accepting that it is what it is, it's unearthing every opportunity for wisdom out of what looks like a pile of rocks on the surface. It's a lifestyle choice to live with this level of positivity and self-awareness. You've got to constantly stoke its fire. Speaking of bringing down the vibe, be sure to avoid doing these other things that girls absolutely hate. 10. Get on their good side. It's no secret, girls are social creatures. They love talking to friends and family about, well, everything. And the girl you're talking to is telling them everything about you, and they want to meet you. So when the time comes to meet her friends and family, be sure to bring your A game because the impression you leave with them will last until they see you again, and who knows how long that will be. So if there's ever a time to get a girl to fall in love with you, it's when meeting the people closest to her and making a good first impression. If you can do that, they'll want you to come around more because you're such a nice boy. 11. Touch off, blast off. It doesn't matter which phase of a relationship you're in, offering welcomed physical contact is the #1 way to how to make a girl fall in love with you fast. So when you're on a date, initiate a light touch at first. If she's into you, it'll give her butterflies. It's a great way to flirt, because on top of an emotional connection, girls need a physical connection with their partner. Further on in a relationship, never underestimate the power of a good back rub. Because let's face it, back rubs feel fantastic. Same for foot rubs. It's a typical biological impulse for women to enjoy the protective touch of a man. Wrap your arm or arms around her when you're out and about and it's cold. Pull her into your lap. Pick her up and spin her when you hug her. Plus, your hands will eventually wander to other places, and when the lights go out and the sheets are strewn about, she'll be ready to blast off just as much as you.